Donald Trump has joined one of his co-defendants, Michael Roman, in his effort to get Fani Willis disqualified from the case prosecuting them all. Don't forget, Michael Roman filed a motion accusing Fani Willis and another prosecutor on the case, Nathan Wade, who was hired specially for this case, of having an affair, and made these really outlandish accusations, calling it an affair, saying that he was inappropriately hired, that he's getting paid a ton of money, an inappropriate amount of money, and that Fani Willis is somehow benefiting by taking vacations with him. And Fani Willis and Nathan Wade haven't commented publicly yet on whether or not these are true. They certainly haven't denied it. I assume they are true. But what is the scandal, and what took Trump so long to join these allegations? But in any event, they filed a motion, his attorneys filed a motion calling for the dismissal of Fani Willis in this case because of what they're calling alleged misconduct between her and her lead prosecutor. And in the filing that they filed, his attorneys joined this effort to dismiss the case, basically suggesting that somehow she benefited financially when he took her on vacation. It also points to public comments that Fani Willis recently made defending her choice to select him by saying that she violated Georgia's rule for prosecutors and seeks to hold Fani Willis, the DA, accountable for misconduct, as well as the public statements she's made about them. So they're adding something to the misconduct, saying she isn't supposed to make extrajudicial or outside of court statements, saying that she has intentionally and falsely injected race into this case, and that this is inappropriate. When she made her comments at the Big Bethel AME Church in Atlanta on MLK Day, and when she defended her team of prosecutors and called into question why only one of the three prosecutors that she brought on, specially from the outside, was being attacked, because the other two were white and they weren't being attacked, and everyone's getting paid the same amount of money. So what her comments were, is it that some will never see a Black man as qualified, no matter his achievements? What more can one achieve? The other two have never been judges, whereas Nathan Wade has, but no one questions their credentials. And they basically claim in this new filing, Trump's lawyers, I think it was Steven Sadow, his attorney who filed this, said that Fani Willis made a calculated effort to foment racial bias against the defendants with her comments. And this runs the risk of prejudicing the public and prospective jurors. And they run afoul to Georgia's professional conduct rules, adding that you can be disbarred for that she was trying to foment racial animus and prejudice against defendants in order to divert and deflect attention away from her alleged improprieties. And this calls for sanction and disqualification. Now, of course, it is absolutely appropriate for a prosecutor to respond to claims and allegations that are being made. Prosecutors are not supposed to make extrajudicial statements. It's against public ethics rules, and you're really not supposed to talk about a case outside of court. But one exception is you are allowed to respond to allegations that are being made. And she didn't directly respond in the sense that she didn't deny or admit to having a romantic relationship, but she did point out what is obvious to everyone who has ever been the subject of sexism or racism, which is the double standard that people like Fani Willis are held to. When I was a prosecutor at the Manhattan DA's office for 3 decades, I saw myself how progressive prosecutors who were women of color were being held to a different standard, than their white male progressive counterparts. Perfect example is the Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner. By all accounts, he's one of the most progressive prosecutors in the country, and you never see anyone coming after him or criticizing him or holding him to a crazy standard or scrutinizing his personal life, etc. In fact, most people don't know anything about him. They just let him do his job. But then you've got strong female, mostly women of color prosecutors, but it's also just strong women of color in this country generally who truly just get absolutely scrutinized in a way that nobody else does. But you know what? I say, go ahead, Fani Willis. I welcome it for her. I have no problem with the fact that she is having potentially, let's just say it's true, a consensual relationship with a man who's going through divorce. He's single. He has been for a couple of years, or at least he's in the process of becoming single. And she is too. And so they're on the same side of the aisle. It's not like he's a defense attorney on this case or the judge on this case. That would be a conflict. And so this would be an office romance, which can be an HR problem, potentially, but not necessarily always. In fact, that is something, look, she is the DA, I guess she is technically his boss, but at most this is an HR issue, not something that would lead to disqualification. I don't think it's a distraction. I don't think it's something that we should all be spending all this time on and divert attention away from the merits of the case. This case should go to trial on the merits and not be some sideshow regarding Fani Willis's personal life and the fact that she's paying someone who has a great reputation, who's a former judge, former defense attorney, trial lawyer, and who's known in Atlanta as a very well-respected lawyer. And by the way, she asked a lot of other attorneys to try to join her team, seasoned attorneys, and they all turned her down, which, can you blame them? I mean, look what happens to your life if you serve the public and join the prosecution team of one of Donald Trump's cases. You get death threats, your family gets dragged through the mud, you get swatted. I mean, and you don't even really get paid that much money. Nathan Wade certainly didn't get paid that much money compared to what he can make in private practice. So this is just a distraction. I hope Judge McAfee sees it for what it is and doesn't allow a 3-ring circus to happen in February, and will absolutely shut this down. But of course, Donald Trump is joining in, because why wouldn't he join in? Any chance he has to call out and bully somebody, he does. But there's nothing here, and I think Fani Willis should hold her head up high. She's a very strong woman who's doing God's work and a great job, and she's a public servant. We should thank her for her service and leave her and her personal life alone. I'm Karen Friedman Agnifilo from Legal AF. Join me and my co-hosts every Wednesday and Saturday. Legal AF. Thank you.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.